Good evening, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sitting Down with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs, here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live, presented by Glenn Smith Chevrolet GMC. We're here at Kendrick High School, and I am privileged to sit down with an AD that I've gotten to know over the last year. He is the athletic director of Kendrick High School, Coach Andre Dye, who is also the head basketball coach. Coach, once again, great having you on Sitting Down with the athletics director, State of the Programs, like we did last year. Just talking about Kendrick athletics and just promoting the product.
Oh, man, sure. It's an honor to be here. And it's an honor to have the opportunity to talk, positive about Kendrick High School.
Coach, talk a little bit about your background, how long you've been the AD here, what was your background brought up, and also go into a little bit about like what sports you played, where you grew up, and what led you to be the AD at Kendrick.
Well, this is going on my fourth year here at Kendrick High School. I'm a homegrown kid. I'm from this area, grew up in Diamond Woods, around the corner. So I played sports here at Kendrick High School. I mean, I went to Diamond Elementary, so I'm very familiar with the area. I played basketball. I ran cross country. I know it's hard to believe. So I got a lot of people that, like your body type, you didn't run cross country, but I ran. And so, as I said, I graduated from Kendrick in 2001. I'm alumni. I had the opportunity to come back and teach at the school that I used to attend. I feel like a dream come true. So, I mean, I'm just fortunate enough to be in this position.
Absolutely. And when you think of Kendrick athletics, I mean, you think of the tradition and history of all the great teams, which we will get into all the teams, including the teams that have won multiple championships. I mean, really what Kendrick was building was powerhouses, and really we want Kendrick to be back at that level. I believe that Kendrick is just a great school. I've had the privilege, you have had the privilege of live streaming games on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. We will get into 27-26. Coach Dye actually had the privilege of joining me on the broadcast for that. That was a lot of fun. I know it was
exciting, super exciting.
It was tiring. It was a 5-hour game, longest game in Georgia Alabama Sports Live history. But we will get into the baseball team. But Coach, just talk about like some of the things that you went through as far as when you transitioned from being a player to a coach. Did you always want to coach? I mean, how much did you put into coaching and teaching, and what are some of the levels that you were coaching?
Well, for sure, every kid's dream that actually plays sports is to make it to the next level. So, of course, I wanted to make it to the NBA. I trained extremely hard for it. I worked countless hours. And academically, I went to college and played on the collegiate level. So it got to a point where the ball stops bouncing though.
Right.
And, your body might not be able to keep up with what your mind is saying. So at that point, throughout the process of being an athlete, it's that word student first. So because I was a student of the game, it was an easy transition for me to go from being a player to actually being a coach, where the work ethic is still needed. With the character that you build within what you're trying to do is still needed, so that when you step out, you have the knowledge of what you've done as a player, and it carries right over into coaching. So I've been coaching now since I was 18 years old, because it started out as just a habit. Like, I was working at Parks and Recreation, and they were like, "Hey, coach, we need a coach for a team." And I was like, "Sure, let's get it." So me and my brother, we stepped up, and we took the team on, and I had my nephew on the team, and some of the highlight players were Isaiah Crowell and his crew. A lot of football players out there, but I told them, "You can be the best basketball player ever." So they listened, they worked hard for me. And I fell in love with it, actually. It gave me the opportunity, as you say, you're around your neighborhood, and you learn as the athlete, the person everybody looks at for playing sports. And then when you're actually giving back to the youth, you're teaching kids that never had that opportunity before, and they look at you and they don't know you for as they say, Dre Dye. They don't know me as the player. They know me as Coach Dye. And so, like, everywhere I went in the community, like, whenever I went up to the rec, it was the transition was happening more and more. So, as I said, I fell in love with it, man. Once I got to get into the community and start giving back to kids and the thing that it does to children, when you see their face light up because they learning something that you want to teach them, it was just special to me. So,
and that's one thing about Kendrick is the proximity to all the recreational youth programs in this area. You got Shirley B. Winston Park, you have Sally Little League, and it's great just to see these kids develop and go play at the next level when they go from a middle school to high school. I mean, we have schools like Fort and Rothschild over here. I mean, we do have some really good middle school teams. But Coach, let's talk about your relationship with the AD of Muskogee County Schools, Jeff Battles. What is that relationship like, and what is some of the things that you have reached out to him for guidance to try to make Kendrick Athletics successful and be the best that they could possibly be?
Oh, man, Jeff is amazing. And I first started talking to Jeff. He was like, I said, "Hey, boss," and he's like, "Hey, Cole, I'm not your boss." And he said, it's more of a mentorship. Right. And it has been that ever since. I mean, you just, anything you need as far as reaching out, dropping off equipment, lining up your field for you, just making sure that, your deadlines are met, type of, you miss an email, you call, you texting on the phone. Just making sure that, he gives you the opportunity to be successful. So I've been blessed. I've had some good administration around me. And, Jeff's just one of those guys that you really like working with.
Well, talk about the facilities, Coach. I know pulling up has seen a lot of construction. They are really renovating the front of the school, but down on underneath the hill, it looks like the school is on a hill. You go down there and you see all the ballparks, and that's where we call the baseball games. And then you got softball down there, and you got your practice football field. What are some of the facilities that you have here at Kendrick, and what are some of the things that, like, we're looking forward to as far as changes in the future?
Well, we're embracing a new thing. A lot of my athletes, it's a new K-Town. That's what we're saying, because every corner you turn in our building is some type of construction, something being remodeled, something being redone. So we're trying to embrace that, and we're making that the new culture, where it's a new K-Town. They're building stairs down to the band field. If you ever been at Kendrick, you always know it was a big slope. We just had to run the hill back when we were coming up. So they got stairs now. They're putting a new front of the building.
Oh, nice.
They're getting a whole new bus loop, and the whole facial front of the building. It won't be looking the same, and then you got the new sports complex. I still say new, because within 10 years it's still fairly new. So
it does look nice.
Yeah, and I'm talking about it's awesome, especially when the lights go out and you cut them lights on. And I mean, when the sun go down, the lights come on. It's very peaceful to be at the top of the hill and just look over. So, I mean, as I said, King's getting a whole new facelift, and we're embracing that. So.
Oh, absolutely. Well, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to dive into all the sports here at Kendrick High School. This is Sitting with an Athletics Director. State of the programs. I'm here with the Athletic Director, Coach Andre Dye. We'll be back here on Georgia Alabama Sports Live.
Are you ready to save big on a new Chevrolet?
Make your way to Glenn Smith Chevrolet. Choose America's #1 compact SUV, the Chevy Equinox, discounted up to $6,500 off. The powerful Chevy Silverados are up to $13,750 off. And the big Chevy Silverado 2500 HTs are discounted up to $6,000 off. Glenn Smith Chevrolet in Opelika.
Get ready to smile.
Welcome back to Sitting Down with an Athletics Director, State of the Programs, here with Coach Andre Dye, the Athletic Director here at Kendrick High School, also the head basketball coach of the boys varsity team. Coach, we're going to go through all the sports. We're going to start with the fall sports. Just give a little background, who the coach is, and what are the expectations for this upcoming season. We're going to start with cross country. I mean, this is a sport that's near and dear to your heart because you ran cross country. Who is the cross country coach? And are you out there running with the cross country team? Or what is their – I know that they've got to be running that hill.
Yeah, for sure. That hill is tradition. I used to coach cross country when I first got here.
Okay.
But I passed the torch to Coach Arthur Jordan. He's also my assistant, boys basketball coach.
Nice.
He was just ready for some leadership role within the school, and I give him an opportunity. He's ran with it. He's embracing it, and I mean, we got the kids out there. We're trying to push and compete to make it to the state this year.
All right, let's go into volleyball, which they're going to be playing on this court. I can see the volleyball lines. The one special thing about volleyball, it starts before football season even starts.
Yeah.
And so you're playing all the teams in Muskogee County. By the way, new region, all the public schools in Columbus minus Northside are all in 2A. You'll have those rivalries again with Carver and with Columbus and Hardaway. I think it's great, really, for the city. But who's the volleyball coach, and when do they actually start their season? And I know they're getting ready for the season. They're like a month away, but who's the volleyball coach?
Angela Long.
Which is also the basketball coach.
Yeah, she's returning. Yeah, she's basketball coach. She's returning volleyball coach. They're doing a great job. Those girls, they work hard. They're committed. They literally just left the gym about an hour ago. They stay in here. It almost seems like every time you walk in, they're in here working, even here in the weight room. So Coach Long is super committed to pushing Kendrick to that next level. I'm super excited for her to have that opportunity to keep pushing the girls, basketball and volleyball. She's completely embracing the opportunity. So,
and then another sport, which we talked to high schools in the AHSAA, which softball plays in the spring over in Alabama, but it's very unique because softball plays in the fall for the GHSA level. Who is the softball coach, and what are some of the things looking forward to as far as softball season, which is just around the corner?
Well, softball, it's another sport. You catch them on the diamond like all the time. Sometimes you got to pull it back because Ms. Lee, she wants to get it. I call her Ms. Lee because I've known her for so long, but she's coached these girls. Coach Lee, she actually teaches over at Georgetown. She's been committed. She has pretty much embraced the being the head coach. She started out as the assistant coach, and one of our coaches went down due to illness. She stepped right up and just never looked back.
And then a new sport, but it's starting to become a growing sport, especially with all these schools in Muskogee County, is flag football. So who is the flag football coach? And I know their season starts a little bit later, but you play your home games at Otis Spencer. I mean, what's the flag football season looking like, and who's the coach?
Well, we're having a transition this year. Coach Emmanuel Brown, who's our new football coach, he used to be the head flag football coach last year. He's passing that on to Brianna Wilson, which is our new girls flag football coach, and the head tennis coach. So, yeah, I think that she's going to embrace the role. She's truly committed. She's energetic. And, I mean, she just wants to see success out of all kids.
All right. Coach, let's talk about football.
Yeah.
You make the transition from Robert Martin, who he actually improved the team going from 1-9 to 3-7 last year.
For sure.
We saw Kendrick on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I was impressed. You do have some skilled athletes. I thought the Curious Collier did a fantastic job. Bakari Littles, those were your playmakers in the backfield. But Emmanuel Brown is the new head football coach. Just briefly talk about his background and what are you looking forward to, especially in the new region for Kendrick football, and right out the gate, taking on the Walker School. But we know that they're going to have that rivalry with Jordan and Columbus and Hardaway and Carver. I mean, just talking briefly about what Coach Brown brings as far as a coaching philosophy to the football team this year.
Oh, man, energy, man. We call him Coach Mayo. Coach Brown is a ball of energy. He, when I seen him out there with the girls on the flag, and he's still young enough to be able to get out there and perform some of the things that he's saying, and energetic enough to actually look good doing it. And he influences the kids to want to work hard. We can't dismiss what Coach Martin has done for the program. But I got to be honest with Coach Brown. It's something different. Like he moves different. And what I'm seeing out of him, he's going to transition our season from being like maybe as you said, 3-win season. I could see potentially moving on, trying to push for a state spot.
Yeah, and you talk about Kendrick football. Right behind you, there's a banner for the 1991 state championship. And then we were talking a little bit offline. I would go into the record books for the GHSA. It was a state championship that was shared by Lakeside of Atlanta, which I didn't realize this until you told me, Coach, that was a championship game that ended in a tie. But it's still a state championship.
Yes.
And even though Dan McGee played for Kendrick, I believe he might have not played on that state, because I think it might have been once he already graduated and won the state championship in that fall of '91.
Right. I believe, if I got my history right, I believe he had just graduated and missed that championship team. But the impact that those guys laid, that foundation was laid. I'm talking about powerhouse. You can go anywhere in the state of Georgia without knowing about Kendrick High School. And that's the level we want to try to push and elevate it back up to. We got the kids, they're working extremely hard. I mean, hitting the weights, eating the weights, they're learning, they're studying, they're watching film, and, the coaches, they're on top of them trying to make sure that they understand their position and their role and making sure that they actually execute it.
Well, let's get into winter sports. Actually, we forgot to mention cheerleading. Who's the cheerleading coach? And this is really, it's not a fall sport because cheerleading is year-round, but they really set the tone and the energy as far as all the sporting events. Just talk about the cheerleading coach and do they have like cheer competitions, and what have they been doing?
Well, they don't do the competition level, but they do travel, they do team camps and stuff like that. If you've been around Kendrick at all, you got to know Alexis Jones. She's our cheer coach. I think they should either just be getting back from Georgia Tech. They had a camp up there. The girls are like super excited, and they carry themselves so elegantly and with class. That she's really big on that and making sure they're on top of their grades. And, I mean, you couldn't ask for a better coach in that area.
And really, the cheerleaders that really are at the football games, the football team sets the tone. And by the way, the band that performs at halftime, and they'll perform in the stands, I want to give a shout out to the band because we see them all the time at Columbus Lions home games. I think that is incredible. Sure. And who's the band director? And then
Miss Todd. Miss Todd does an excellent job. So with Miss Todd, she doesn't just settle for being in the building. She has to reach out into the community. She goes beyond, and it's evident. I mean, she brought the Battle of the Bands to Columbus. Well, it used to take place, but it has died for so many years. She brought that back. So now it's an annual thing that she's doing. She's going from vendor to vendor, making sure that we experience it at different areas within Columbus. So she's outstanding, man. And the kids, they're so committed to that band. Man. It's amazing.
All right, let's talk winter sports. You have wrestling. Do you have it for boys and girls?
Yes, for sure.
And who's the wrestling coach?
Anthony Mitchell. Anthony Mitchell is, he's retired military, so he's one of those guys where if you need something done and you give him an assignment, it's done. And I'm talking a second later. So when he's coaching, it's just like that. And it translates over to his kids. And you can see it throughout the building. He may not be one of the easiest guys to work for because he demands respect, he demands and commands the things that's needed in order for you to be a champion. But he's definitely creating champions down on that level. And you can tell by how many kids he's pushing into college.
All right, let's talk about girls basketball. Behind you, incredible championship banners. Starting from 2004, their first Final Four appearance. And by the way, a big shout out to the Columbus head basketball coach, LaShonda Adams, who played basketball here for Coach Hicks in 2004. What Coach Hicks did here was absolutely incredible. Championships in 2008, in 2014, Final Four appearances in 2004, 06, 07, 11. It was Kendrick girls basketball was the dominating program in the state of Georgia. And what he built here, it really just sets the tone. And really, it's important to go back into the history, because I think what Coach Angela Long is doing at Kendrick, her second year, got to know her when we were broadcasting the Muskogee County Christmas tournament. I know that she's got a young team, but she loses a player like Demaya Collins. But you got a Nyla Whitaker, but she does have some young players coming back. Just talk about the growth that Coach Long has built for Kendrick basketball to try to get it back to that level.
Well, the thing you got to say before you say Coach Hicks is legend, because he is a legendary coach in this area, and the foundation he has laid for not only Kendrick but girls basketball, period.
Absolutely.
It has elevated this city, this state, to another level. And it's evident because, you see the growth within girls basketball. The things that I think that Angela Long is doing, she reaches out to Coach Hicks. She reaches out to coaches like myself, and she wants to absorb as much as possible and try to translate that over to her young group of girls that she has. It's a very young group. She works countless hours, as I said before. As I said, they just left the gym about an hour ago. So I'm extremely excited to see what type of product we put on the floor, because I know the work and the time is being put in for those girls to be successful.
And Coach, I do want to say Kendrick has a lot of proud alumni that went to this school, including WRBL's Teresa Whitaker.
Sure.
You have the co-owners of the Columbus, Georgia Vipers, Angela Daniels-Culliver and Dr. Tasha Mahone.
Right.
There's so much pride for Kendrick basketball. I had the privilege of just going to a Kendrick basketball game last season, because it is important when you're sitting in the stands and you look at the banners, you see across the gym the pictures of the championship teams. And I know that Coach Long is going to do a great job this season. Let's talk about your team, the basketball team that you coach, as also you're the athletic director and the boys varsity head coach. I remember 2 years ago on the doorstep of the playoffs, we were in a tough region with 8 teams. Only 4 teams make the playoffs. You went 7-19 last year, but I do feel Andrew Spivey was a really good player. But you got Noah Harris. Is Noah Harris coming back? Or Caleb Giles?
I mean,
you got some young players that they're going to make an impact.
I got a very unique group. A very, as I say, young group, but they're not their season now. Because last year, as you said, we went 7-19. But the thing about it was the effort that they gave, the commitment that they gave. With them all being young players, it gave them the experience to be able to move forward now. And even though they're sophomores and juniors, they can compete with seniors. And so as we keep going, we keep adding on pieces, and we keep growing and developing, I think it's going to be something scary, something nice to watch down the line.
But I do want to say, Coach, I know that it is a tough region, but all the teams and Sumter County are all from Columbus. So you're going to have packed gymnasiums. You're going to see Carver come into this gymnasium. It's going to be packed with Kendrick fans and Carver fans. Same with Spencer, Hardaway, Columbus. They're all going to come here. And I think it's great because it cuts back on the travel. You're having to go to Macon and play an Ace Charter or a Southwest. You can stay right here in Columbus and play all your region games. Do you have a general idea of what the basketball schedule might look at? I know it's not official yet, but what are some of the non-region teams that you might schedule on the basketball schedule?
Well, right now we got some local county schools that we try to put on the region. We as far as we got one of our Christmas tournaments, one of our alumni. He coaches at Creekside in Atlanta. We decided that we were going to try to put that game together.
There you go.
He was really adamant about wanting to play. So what I did was I'm giving them the opportunity to come, for our Christmas tournament and embrace, because we always want to show, love to our alumni and everything. We got Marion County. They're going to be added on to the schedule. We got a couple other guys that we really been looking at playing. But I'm just really being honest, I don't think it really matters who we play. Right. It matters how we play. Because I'm looking at the demographic of how the city's laid out and everything. I think that my team has a chance, just like any other, to be region champs. They got to believe it, and they got to keep working hard at it every day. You know, we got some that's clear cut. That of course those guys are good. They've been good since they were in 5th grade. You know what I'm saying, or even younger. You know, as you mentioned, you know, the Carver, they doing a phenomenal job right now with playing at the GHSA the live period. And, you know, they did a great job up there. So what we do is we have to watch and we have to see what our opponents are doing. And that's all. You don't just win. So we want to be ready to compete against any and everybody that we see. So that's the thing we're gunning for. Is we want to just be competitive, and at the end of the game, we want to leave it all on the floor.
And you just got finished doing summer leagues, and are you going to participate in fall leagues getting ready for the upcoming season?
For sure. We're definitely going to participate in fall league. We got to make sure that we keep the guys grounded, you know, with us being a 2A school, legitimate 2A school. We got to share a lot of athletes.
Yeah, it's tough because you have football players.
Yeah, correct. So we're going to make sure that we give our football players opportunity to get out there and focus at what they need to focus on. But, you know, the guys that's not participating in other sports, we don't leave them sitting around doing nothing. So we're going to be training, getting our 4-on-1s in, getting our conditioning in for sure. A lot of them run cross country too. So we just try to keep our guys active as much as possible. That way, when it comes time to come back together and, you know, handle business, we're ready.
All right, moving on to spring sports. We're going to start with track and field. I see some championships that this team has won in track and field. Who is the track and field coach? And obviously, when you have great facilities down underneath the hill where they have plenty of space and a nice track where you can run your events, but you also have the practice football field where you can do the field threat like the discus and the shot put. But just tell us a little bit who the track and field coach is, and what are the some expectations for this upcoming season.
Well, in track, you know, the thing about Kendrick High School and track is success.
Oh yeah,
and we have some of the most athletic sprinters that the state of Georgia has to offer. So the expectation is they're going to compete for not only a regional championship, but a state championship if they can. Coach Tony Moses is the coach. He's also an alumni of Kendrick High School. He ran track for Kendrick, played football for Kendrick. He came right after the 91 class and all that. But he still was a part of that culture. So he brings that with him every time he goes out to the track. So I'm just excited to see what we can put out on the track. We also have he has some young assistants in Coach Farley and Coach Williams. Both of them are Kendrick High School alumni. Farley had the opportunity to play underneath legendary Coach Hicks, and Coach Williams he ran track at Albany State. So
nice.
we have we have some good coaches around that want to teach some of the things that they learned along the way.
Right. You also have tennis.
Tennis.
Who is the tennis coach?
Brianna Wilson. Once again, she does flag football and she does tennis. As I said, she's really energetic. She's new to coaching, but she's not new to demanding the proper things that are needed within coaching. You know, because she played tennis herself. She played tennis and flag football is new to her, but I think she's gonna have a ball because she was the assistant coach with Mayo last year.
Right.
So I'm just excited to see what we put out there. You know.
And you also have a boys and girls soccer team, and soccer is getting really big here in Columbus with the 3 outdoor teams. We used to have the indoor team. Columbus High just won the state championship.
Yeah.
All the clubs, the Concord Fire South that play at Woodward Park, CYSC. So when you get into high school soccer, you know, there's some really good competition, especially in this area. So who is the soccer coach for the boys and the girls? And you guys play at Otis Spencer, and what's the season looking like for them?
Well, right now, Ja'Cory Daniels, he's part of our magnet program. Daniels, he's going to be coaching girls and boys right now because Coach Mayo was the soccer head boys So with him locking in on football, we gotta try to shift gears and stuff like that.
Course.
So with it being a spring sport, we still looking for some new interesting people that are interested in coaching it, and we should have that locked down by the end of the fall.
Because I promise you, like we're going to do more on Georgia Alabama Sports Live. I promise you, we will be live streaming soccer.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited about it. And finally, Coach, we are going to talk about baseball because you told me before we came on that the longtime baseball coach Michael Peake is retired.
Yes.
We had the privilege of meeting him at High School Baseball Media Day.
Mm-hmm.
And I've had a lot of fun live streaming the Kendrick baseball games, and I appreciated you being on the broadcast with me, Coach.
Yeah.
The baseball team, they did finish 3-17, but they did improve because they only won one game the year before. And I was just blown away by a very special player, Tristan Holzendoff,
Yes.
who led in just about every offensive category for Kendrick. And yes, we were there for that 27-26 victory over Spencer, the longest game in Georgia Alabama Sports Live history. But this is a vacant position. But is there anybody you have in mind? Is there anybody who hasn't applied for it? Have you made a decision on who the baseball coach is going to be?
Well, right now we got interim head coach Arthur Jordan.
Okay.
He was Coach Peake's assistant last year.
I do remember him. We were just chatting before the game.
Yeah, so I mean, he had an opportunity to learn some pretty good knowledge from Coach Peake. But when we speak of Coach Peake, man, another word, legend. Just from the time that he put in here at Kendrick and the commitment that he showed to this program. When I first got here, he was the first coach to greet me. And he told me then, he said, Coach, anything you need, I got you. Let me know. He said, as far as running the fields and everything down here, you don't have to worry. He said, if you want to come take over, it's completely up to you. But I know everything that's going on down here. And, you know, if you need any help with any of this, just let me know. And I really appreciated that because he didn't have to reach out to me in that manner. He could have said it's all yours or whatever, but he greeted me and he helped me every step of the way. He's truly going to be missed. I hate the fact that I didn't really have a chance to make it during his retirement ceremony and stuff we had in the cafeteria because, you know, my mom had passed away at that time. Yeah. And so, but I had the opportunity to work with him hand in hand.
Right.
And I'm going to reach back out to him. I know he's still, you know, he's going to be around even though he's not.
Oh, I know he's going to be
I'm trying my best to come on back, Coach Peake. We need you. If you're out there, Coach Peake, come on back.
Yeah. I've had the privilege of getting to know Coach Peake, just an outstanding guy. And, he's definitely going to be missed as a coach here. And hopefully he could just be back in a capacity as maybe just an advisor or somebody that can just you can rely on to ask questions. Coach, my final question to you is there any sports that you would like to see here at Kendrick, like esports or golf or swimming? Is there a possibility? And what has to take place to try to get new sports here at Kendrick?
Well, last year we had swimming. Coach Williams, she stepped down. She was doing an outstanding job, phenomenal job. Tristan Holzendoff was actually one of my swimmers also.
Nice.
He was an outstanding player. She did an outstanding job. It just, she had to move forward. She had other obligations.
Right.
So I'm looking to fill that vacancy again because we do have students that's interested in it. And I'm not going to lie to you, push come to shove, and I got to do it, and we'll get it done. That's just a job as an athletic director. So golf, we have a new coach coming in, actually Coach May from down at East Columbus.
Mm-hmm.
He's moving up this year, up to Kendrick, and he's very interested in coaching golf, so we're going to make sure that he has that opportunity to do so. Esports, I'm looking into trying to find somebody that's willing to take it on. Yeah. Esports is one of the most up-and-coming things, you know, within our generation.
Oh,
because
absolutely.
the kids, they're hooked on those games.
I didn't have it when I was in high school.
So I wish I could.
I wish.
We were playing video game out there. But no, it's one of them things where we're going to gradually get into it, and hopefully by the end of the year, we set up a team with it.
Well, Coach, this is an opportunity for you to sell Kendrick. How can boosters or people who are interested in Kendrick athletics, alumni that went to Kendrick, how could they support Kendrick athletics? And what is your message to the Kendrick alumni out there that want to support Kendrick athletics?
Oh, man. Well, first, we can use any type of support that anybody's willing to give, especially alumni. If you want to reach back, a lot of people, they come, they donate their time. Time is very important because the lessons that you have that you can give to these kids, they won't forget throughout the time. Monetarily, if you want to donate, you can come by the front office. You can drop a check off. You can drop supplies off, whether it's detergent. Man, these kids, they can use sandwich meat. They can use bread because they're here all day. Some of them, as I said, they go to practice from 9 something, they finish around 3 o'clock. So any type of way that you want to support, if you own a business and you want to get your school or your business marketed, our graphic arts program is our magnet. So what we do, we're trying to generate where we can create banners and stuff for people, stuff like that. So it's a lot of different ways. If you're really just interested in helping and giving back, man, just come on by, stop by, come talk to me. I'll be here in the building. If you can't catch me, catch Dr. James or one of my other coaches. But we're always available. But the main thing is just stop by the office. Now, the one thing about the office, though, as I said, it's a new K-Town. So you got to come around the corner, and it's a little construction going on in front. So, don't give up. Don't let that stop you, though. We definitely can use you.
Well, Coach, this has truly been a pleasure. Thank you so much for taking time and talking about Kendrick athletics. And we cannot wait to live stream many sporting events for Kendrick. Thanks again, Coach.
Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely. It's the athletic director of Kendrick High School, Coach Andre Dye. Thank you so much for everybody out there watching another episode of State of the Program, sitting down with an athletics director. I want to thank Chris Gates. For Chris Gates, Direct Manager, I'm Richard Holdridge saying so long here from Kendrick High School, and we will see you next time.